Hi, my name is Maya,
My name's Carolina. Welcome back to another episode of Mic Check.
where we drop the mic. In today's episode, we are going to be talking to Charlotte and Olivia about being a new student in high school. Who are you guys? Introduce yourselves.
I'm Charlotte. I'm a junior.
I'm Olivia. I'm also an 11th grader.
So, how are you guys and what have you been up to lately?
Um, I've been pretty good. I've really just been doing school. Like that's literally it. Nothing else. And I'm doing pretty okay.
Yeah, I'm also doing pretty okay. I mean, considering everything, but just trying to stay focused on school right now is the biggest thing, even though it's literally such a challenge. But yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Anything new in your life that's been interesting at all?
No. No. Nothing.
Actually, no, Charlotte, Freaks and Geeks is on Hulu now. That's like the only.
Yeah. Freaks and Geeks is on
That's
Hulu,
like the
guys.
only thing.
Well, first of all, that's one of my favorite shows. It's so fun. Okay. Anyway, where did you guys go to school before coming to South Pass?
Um, I went to a private school in Pasadena called Waverly. I went there for 10 years, starting in like preschool ish. And yeah, I mean, it was a really small school. It was like my class, I don't remember how many people it was, but maybe like 30, 26, something like that. And that's basically where I spent my whole life. And it was, and then I was supposed to go to the South Pass Middle School, but it's the South Pass Middle School starts in sixth grade, but Waverly Elementary School ends in sixth grade. So I decided to go to the middle school at Waverly, but then I always knew I was going to go to the high school here because that's why we moved to South Pass in the first place. So,
Yeah, pretty similarly to Charlotte, I also went to a really small school, like insanely small. It was like 15 kids in my class. But yeah, before that, I went to a school like in Sherman Oaks. I went to Waldorf in sixth grade and I left obviously in eighth grade. It was super focused on like humanities and art. Like it was so different from what South Pass is. Like we made our own textbooks, which I think is so cool. So cool. But um, yeah, I think I just wanted something different, like a bigger school. So that's what led me to South Pass.
Well, coming from your smaller schools into bigger schools, do you like the campus more and just South Pass in general?
um, I I do. I like it a lot. I mean, I loved my old school because I did like the kind of small nature and like you knew everyone and you knew all your teachers, but also like going to like a public high school, like a bigger public high school, it feels very like American. Also, there's a lot more like resources because it's just there's like more people and like funding from the community, which is the resources are like nice. There's just like more things. You can kind of like fly under the radar and like you don't have to be known by everyone because at like a smaller school, you literally know every single person. I definitely I'm glad I'm going to a public high school rather than a private high school.
Yeah, I mean, there are some parts that I miss about my old school, just like how intimate it felt. And the campus at my old school was like so beautiful. Like our school was like an old house. I just miss that a lot. But um, okay, I'm about to out myself so hard right now. But when I first came to South Pass, I had no idea how to use Google Docs. Like it was so embarrassing because at my old school we didn't have computers or like technology. Like no one in my class had a phone, which I think is kind of awesome though. But I mean, I'm happy where I am now. So
And trying to take from that with technology, how has the past 2 years compared to your freshman year, especially because we're online now?
I mean, the online aspect is definitely like rough, and it was a, I mean, but that's like for everyone. But like, unlike Olivia, my old school did have computers, and we did learn how to use the Google Drive system. Freshman year, I was kind of like the most focused on school that I've ever been, but that's mainly because like I didn't have friends to distract me. Technology wise, the past 2 years, I mean, it's really just the online transition was weird. But like, it wasn't like the worst thing ever, but like, you know.
Freshman year for me was really tough. Like it was rough. My grades were literally so bad, but obviously things have gotten better now. But regarding like the shift to online virtual learning, I kind of like it in a weird way. It feels, I don't know, I can't explain it. I like it. But then I hate it because I miss people.
Do you think that being in person is like easier to like maintain friendships and communications throughout this entire process?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, if I had, like, this is where I really have, like, sympathy for, like, new freshmen at this school. Because if I had had to do freshman year online, I would have had, like, no friends. Because, I mean, like, it's already hard. It was already so difficult to, like, make friends freshman year. Because being able to, like, see people every single day, like, in person, and, like, even just talking to, like, random people in class, like it makes it so much easier to like maintain contact and like friendships with people. It's a struggle, but I think you can always like work it out with like your close friends.
Yeah, at least for me, it's been really, really hard to like maintain relationships with people. Because obviously when you're in school in person, like you see people every day. And like with lunch too, like you have the ability to like talk to people every day. So
Definitely. And do you have any ideas or any hopes as to where you would like senior year to go? Like, would you mind having it online? Would you like to go back?
I would definitely love to go back to school like in person because I like genuinely really do miss like being on campus. Seeing just like people at lunch and like getting to just like talk to people you don't know, which is like weird because I'm not really like that. Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm hopeful, but I mean, who knows really at this point.
yeah, same. I would love to go back to school in person, but just like Charlotte said, like obviously if we can't, there's nothing we can do about that. I'm like petrified for senior year. I feel so unprepared. Like absolutely am terrified for it, especially with like all the meetings that are going on right now. It's like giving me a wake up call that like, oh, this is ending soon and like we have to start thinking about our futures seriously. I'm scared for senior year. Petrified.
It's just like so weird to kind of see your high school career as a whole, or just like your school life as a whole. Like we're literally coming to an end. But do
Yeah.
you think your journey, having both come from different schools, changed when coming to South Pass, or like how do you feel about high school?
I mean, I think like high school would have been like super different if I had gone to high school at my old school. Because I mean, I still have friends who go to my old school, high school, but it's definitely a different vibe. I feel like going to a bigger and public school for high school made things feel almost more like serious. I don't know if that makes sense.
And academically, yeah, just like what Charlotte said, coming to a bigger like public school felt like more serious. Waldorf just doesn't feel like a regular high school that like I imagined.
Now we're gonna start moving into more personal questions. So like, I mean, we've already answered a lot about like how high school has like been for you and like your journey. Do you guys have any favorite classes, clubs, activities, or programs at your school?
In my freshman year, I did for my like art slash elective, I took graphic design because I was actually originally gonna be like in the band, like in band, because I always wanted to do that, but then I realized I just did not want to do that at all, and so then I had to like pick an art, and I like hate like painting and stuff, and I didn't want to do like theater or dance. So I was like, oh, graphic design, because my mom's a graphic designer. And I took it and it was like super fun and I loved the teacher. And it was just like a fun class and it was like my one escape class in freshman year. And then that actually led me to like being on the newspaper, like on Tiger as a graphic designer, which I think was a fun thing that I never thought I would do, but I'm glad that like it led there. And besides graphic design, I This year I actually have been really enjoying AP Lang, which is a surprise to me.
I guess I like medical interventions because of the fact that like Charlotte, Sadie, and Maya are in that class. But yeah, I also do track with Zoe. That's fun. That's like why I do it, because it's like fun doing it with your friends. Like I need to take an art so bad. Also, I can't imagine Charlotte in band. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna work.
Wait, what instrument would you have played if you decided to stick with band?
Well, I would have been in the pit because I went to one day of band camp, which was like the worst day of my life. But I would have I maybe it was like the synth. It's like a huge
So awesome.
it's like a huge piano on this huge cart that I would have had to like push out onto the football field. But it just was not for me. It was not for me.
Again, since we're sort of like kind of reaching like the end of our high school journey, have you guys had any plans or ideas for college and or like career choice or just plans for the future in general?
Um, like not really. For like the past few years of like I think I want to be like a nurse. I'm into like math and science. But then this year I started like enjoying English more and like enjoying math and science less. So then now I'm like I really don't know what to do.
Yeah, for college, I definitely want to go like outside of California. Um, I have no idea what for though. Like, I actually hate thinking about my future. It's like it scares me so bad. Even though I know it's like important and I have to. But I've been in a medical like what's it like program thing at our school, and I
Pathway.
was really what?
This is a pathway.
Yeah, pathway. That's the word I was looking for. It didn't pop into my brain, but I was really like in freshman year, I really like wanted to go like do something in the medical field. Like I saw myself doing that as a career in the future possibly, but like recently I have not been feeling that. I don't exactly know what I want to do. I don't think I need to figure that out right now. So it's fine.
And in order to get to the place that you are today, what are some of the steps that you took, like emotionally or with your classes?
I mean, freshman year, I had to do a lot of that was like one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, just like adjusting to a new school. Like making friends, that was like the honestly one of the biggest like um stepping stones. I don't know, like things that has made me who I am right now in these past few years. Also, my old school, like we didn't have grades. There was evaluations at the end of every semester. You got an evaluation. So getting grades was actually like a positive and kind of a negative because it helps you like feel in control, but then also like it's a little stressful. But yeah, I think that the things that have shaped me so far in high school are just like adjustments.
Oh my God, the freshman orientation. I remember this so vividly. I was walking to the Is this bringing up something for you, Charlotte?
Yeah, it's a little emotional. Freshman orientation.
It's okay. I remember I was walking to the gym because we were going to the assembly that like the seniors were doing, and Sophia walked up to me. She's like, "Oh, you're new," and then I don't know. I just remember that it was a great moment because she introduced me to all her friends, which are now my friends. It just worked out. Like I was so scared about not being able to make friends, and that just like felt really reassuring to have someone like say hi.
Yeah, that was actually also just to hop off that is like I was actually kind of almost surprised at like a lot of people in our grade were like really nice and like welcoming and like in like the first days of school like when I was like sitting alone at lunch like people like came up to me and were like it was like slightly embarrassing because I was just people would come up to me and be like do you want to like sit with us or like are you okay like there was actually a senior who was nice to me at band camp. Her name was Becca, but she graduated. She was really nice to me, and I remember one day I was sitting alone, I think at brunch or something by the language building, and I was like, I think I was crying, and she just like sat next to me, and she was like, you know, like if you want to like feel better, like go like sit in the freshman area and like make friends. Which was like it was like kind of a little bit maybe like a tough love moment because I was like just in emotional distress because I had no one. And then she was like, you know what? The only way to feel better is like to go like meet people and make friends. And then I did do that. So thank you, Becca.
Yeah, you did. I remember the first time I saw you. Well, we actually had PE together, but I remember the first time I saw you, you were sitting by like the freshman like English building. You're wearing overalls. I remember that you were wearing overalls. Um, and then I think I like walked up to you while you were eating lunch, and then I was just like, hey, because we had classes together,
Yeah.
like PE and biomed brought us together.
Those were and those were both the first period of the day, first period and second period.
Yeah.
Oh, memories.
Memories, so many memories.
Oh God.
To conclude, do you guys have any advice for other high school students?
Really, it's like I think it is really important to like have friends in high school because like it's hard to do high school without friends. Like my first month of freshman year, I think possibly one of the worst months of my entire life. But then like by the end of the first semester, I like was like friends with people, and also just like I guess it's like don't be like kind of scared to like sit with people and like be friends with people because like when I first started like sitting with our current friend group in freshman year, I would only like sit with Olivia, but she was in entrepreneurship, and so she had to work at the student store like every other week, and so like one week I would sit with the big friend group and I would sit with Olivia, but then when she would go like work for the student store, I wouldn't sit with them because I was way too scared of them. But I've told that to them now, and they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't have," because like they were like nice. I was just afraid. But yeah, I guess just like don't be like scared to like. That sounds so stupid. Just don't be like scared to like talk to people and like make friends because it's really not that bad. And like the worst that could happen is just like you don't end up being friends with them, and then you move on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't like feel like I'm in a place to give advice about this, but like I don't know. I guess just take comfort in the fact that other people are probably feeling a similar way to you. Like if you're scared about not making friends, like there's someone else that's probably feeling the same way. And I hate to be cheesy, but like you're not alone. Like there's always people that you can like talk to. Even though it seems terrifying, like that's always you can always do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just don't be scared, like Charlotte said.
Because me and Olivia, we found each other. We were going through the same thing, and then
Yeah.
in our classes together, we found each other, and then we became friends. So
Exactly.
Any final thoughts you want to conclude? Make friends, is that the overall theme of this?
I think so, because I mean, making
Yeah.
friends is like it makes you happy in high school. Because I mean, obviously, like school is important, but I think it's like also about social skills. You get to build social skills because then you have to go to college, which is basically like starting anew. You don't know anyone.
Okay. Before we conclude, we do have to take a thumbnail photo, as you've seen on many
Oh
of
God.
my check posters.
Nervous.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.